Happy Friday evening, everybody. We're here for our first Chair League cast of Season 4, and it should be a good one. A Pro Division game, Flex Luthor versus I Like Your Smile, and joining me is my buddy Mitchell. Fresh off of our opening season beatdown last night, how are you recovering, sir?
Fresh off of our stomping that happened to us, not for us, unfortunately. I'm recovering okay today.
I'm not too sore. I thought it would be worse, to be honest.
Yeah, it was the games after that hurt more a little bit, actually. Being honest.
So I do have a little bit of background info on these two teams while they are assembling the troops and deciding what map they want to play on, etc., etc., etc. So our first team, the home team, is Flex Luthor. I don't know if you remember this team, but we played them last season.
Yeah, I do remember them. I remember them being pretty okay, actually.
Yeah, well, they stomped us.
Yeah.
It was also our.
I was trying to be modest.
Yeah, it was our first game as a team, so we were rockier than we are. And this is now their second full season in Chair League. Last season, they got placed into Division 1 after going 2-1 in placement. And then they squeaked into the playoffs in 13th out of 16th place and lost in the first round of the Division 1 playoffs. And then with self-placement, they are showing their ambition, and they are now in the Pro Division. And their opponent is certainly no small task. It is I Like Your Smile. I've been following them because one of their players is my former teammate. Juice, of course, and I played 2 seasons on the Leftovers together in Division 1. He's a much better player than I. Good dude, good player. So when he jumped to another team after the Leftovers fell apart, I started watching them. And last season, they had a little bit of a rocky go of it in the early season. It seemed like they were kind of figuring out where everybody fit. But they finished really, really strongly down the stretch. And last season, they went 6-2 in Division 1 and made it to the semifinals of the Division 1 playoffs. Also, they participated in the Open Division, the first cup for NA, and they got to the quarterfinals, losing to Miasma Esports, which means if you go on to the HGC website right now, I Like Your Smile will be one of the 4 teams tied for 5th place in the NA Open Division. So should be some pretty high-quality play, I think, here tonight.
Sorry about the lag there. I was actually trying to make sure our audio sounds okay. It sounds great.
Great, perfect. We like to hear sounds great. So should be some pretty high-quality play tonight. These guys should be getting ready to go here any moment. And we have... looks like both teams have their full squads. I'm going to whisper one of these guys and see if we can get this show on the road, because nobody is messaging me back in the chat.
Do we have a best of 1 or a best of 3?
This is Pro Division, so it is always best of 3. Always
All right.
best of 3. So very excited to see how this game goes. In the best of 3, the home team gets first pick. The away team gets first map pick. They swap for round 2. And if they go to game 3, it goes back to the original one. I have just been informed that they are going Infernal Shrines.
All right. The map that we got stomped on last night.
That is correct. So I'm just getting these guys in here right now. Home team is Flex Luthor, which means I want to get Otterbot in here first. Oh, I cannot for some reason. That's disappointing. Oh, because it says he's in a game, or maybe they already have lobby.
These Pro Division teams are usually up on it.
Yeah, but they're also always used to being casted, so we'll see. We'll see. All right, so we're leaving our game, and I'm going to boot you out of our party because I don't think it makes a difference for this, but let's get you in here. I am in. Let me get you in. Whoop, 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 whoop. There you go. Oh, they're even on the right side. That's perfect.
All right, I'm in.
And I'm excited, too, for this game and season because we have a in-client draft now.
Thank God.
No kidding, right? I don't know, for those of you who have been watching HGC, it's cut down on the time, the downtime. Everything is smoother. Everything's integrated. It's just going much better.
Well, I think there's something to be said about the fact that that exists in every other MOBA as well. And I think it just took them far too long to get it in here.
Yeah.
But
I agree.
here now, and it's awesome. I like that it's built in for the observers, that you don't actually see names. You just see the character names pop up too. I love that.
As do I. And now I got to switch our little screens here because we are in draft. And it's also nice, you can actually see the teams interact during the draft, which you really couldn't before. And if you ever have any weird thing pop up during the draft, like, oh, that's not the guy I meant to pick, you can actually don't have to alt-tab out. You can just communicate directly in client, which is great. So first ban by Flex Luthor will be Kerrigan on her strongest map, and I like your smile response with Sylvanas, who of course really accentuates the Punisher push. The highlight of maybe our HOTS career is a team league game where we won in 9 minutes and 38 seconds on Infernal Shrine with Sylvanas before either team got to level 10. I don't think we'll ever do it again, but that kind of game really highlights how much of a win-more hero she can be if you get the ball rolling with her.
Yeah, that's really where Sylvanas' power lies. I'm not surprised to see the Kerrigan ban at all. She's just so powerful on this map. If you can have the right comp for her, she just picks apart those shrines.
And no surprise for first pick either. Artanis is really crushing the meta right now on every level. He's banned out in pretty much all my Hero League games, highly prioritized in all the pro games, and first pick for Flex Luthor. And I like your smile responds with the dynamic duo of Tassadar Vala. Vala, when she has a babysitter like Tassadar, can play so much more aggressive, does so much more damage, and her main weakness as a hero, how quickly she can die, is eliminated. So I really like that combination.
Yeah, I'm actually, Tassadar with his brand new rework is in a weird spot right now because his shields are super powerful, but his win rate is actually super low in Hero League right now. So he's not seeing a lot of play or a lot of good play rather outside of organized professional teams. So it's really interesting to see that. But yeah, like you said, he just enables Vala to be such a powerhouse. I mean, she already is, but that extra little bit of survivability and the sustain that she gets from the shields as well is just amazing. We're gonna have.
Flex Luthor.
There we go. Counter pick with Johanna and Rhaegar. I really like the Rhaegar and Artanis combo a lot. He gets so much value out of Bloodlust if they decide to go for that. And I don't think double bruisers and a healer isn't a bad draft so far. They're giving away their game plan too much. We're gonna have a Tychus ban for I Like Your Smile. Not a bad idea. You hate to see Tychus and double tanks on the same team, but I feel like they just took that away from themselves at the same time because they kind of have next pick. Maybe they were afraid that he was going to get banned in this for Flex Luthor, so maybe that happened. But we're seeing a Sonya ban being hovered here, not confirmed. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a Sonya ban. She's really good right now with her buff, and there she goes. And she's insane on the shrine, just like Kerrigan is.
Yeah, after her recent little buff, she has jumped 8% in the win rates according to HOTS logs, which is insane. And we were talking how Tassadar's win rate has actually went down a little bit. I think part of that is with the higher shield cooldown, it actually raises the skill floor. You have to really be Johnny on the spot with your shields. You can't waste them knowing it's going to come up 4 seconds later. But with the team that, I Like Your Smile, that is proven to really kind of be climbing to the top of the NA amateur team slowly here. I certainly think they can pull it off. I do like Johanna on Shrines, the best wave-clearing main tank by far. It's not even close. So on this battlefield in particular, she is really good. If you go Eternal Retaliation at level 4, it makes her wave clear even stronger. And Rhaegar, if you go double Lightning Shield, can also have a ton of wave clear both on the shrine and in the lanes. So both teams having strong drafts so far.
I like that Johanna's kind of a response to the Vala pick as well with the blind that she has. It is really effective at shutting down a lot more people than, for example, Lily's blind, because it can get through all the way back there to where Vala should be. An Oriel and Leoric response from I Like Your Smile. This is a little interesting. They're going probably. I'm going to probably say that they're going to go with a solo tank Leoric. But against a double front line like that, it's not bad. He's going to have a lot of sustain as long as he can land his W. And, of course, they're going double support for the sustain anyway. So, with Vala being an excellent battery for Oriel, I don't see how they're going to have a hard time pumping out that healing.
And it's kind of a symbiotic relationship with Tassadar, Vala, Auriel. Tassadar allows Vala to be more aggressive and do more damage, which in turn powers Auriel and makes her a better healer. So all three of those really kind of synergize so well with each other. Leoric will help counteract the wave clear, solid wave clear for a tank. And of course that Drain Hope can unpay any of the student loans of Johanna or Artanis, really push them out. And Gul'dan, a ton of damage, and Rag with the wave clear. I think right now Flex Luthor does have the wave clear advantage, and Ragnaros used properly can really be a pain. He can stunt the advance of the Punisher. He can also siege from far enough away that he can steal those last few Shrine Guardians if he needs to while in Molten Core. So I really like both of those selections from Flex Luthor.
I can't tell you how many times I've done that and won a Punisher for my team.
Yeah, absolutely.
Going Molten Core and just poking out those last few shots. I'm going to be very interested to see what the last pickup is here for I Like Your Smile. Gul'dan and Ragnaros is an insane combo to pick up right now for Flex Luthor. Like, they just got their complete entire draft. I feel like such a perfect combo to round out that team. I Like Your Smile is going to have a really hard time keeping up with the Shrine, I feel like.
I think they need to pick a tank here. I don't think Leoric, with all that poke, will have a hard time holding the front line. Kind of Thrall as an off tank is kind of maybe somewhere in the middle, damage of an assassin, but can hold the front line a little bit. But with all of that damage coming out from Infernal Shrines, I think this game may come down to which team's front line can control the engagements better.
Yeah, whoever gets that first pick, and I mean, this is going to be a factor that this is usually why we start out with first banning Artanis, but that swap is going to be so powerful on somebody like a Thrall, for example. If you can get an early pick on somebody like Thrall, there goes a large part of the front line for I Like Your Smile, because Leoric has plenty of health and he's got a lot of sustain if he can get off his W on those high health targets, which may or may not happen. If an Artanis swap happens, they could get distracted and they could turn around on him instead of, trying to save the Thrall, for example. And then that puts I Like Your Smile really on the back foot for a lot of this game. And I feel like their team is pretty conservative right now, as opposed to Flex Luthor right now. They've got a very aggressive draft, as opposed to I Like Your Smile.
So for Flex Luthor, we have Penguin on Johanna, Prof. Billy Ray on Gul'dan, Nimble Rabbit on Artanis, Otterbot on Rhaegar, and I'm going to say the queue is silent, so I'm going to go Toza on Ragnaros.
On I Like Your Smiles team, we're going to have Supreme Force on Tassadar, Amon on Oriel, Juice on Thrall, Chrissy I-37 on Vala, and Rio on New York.
When Juice first joined these guys, I watched his first couple of games with them last season. They kind of bounced him around a little bit, and I could have told them very quickly they were going to leave him on a melee hero once they figured out just how good he is in that off-tank melee assassin role. He really shines there, and so I'm not surprised at all to see him on Thrall. even though I've probably played close to 200 games with him, and I don't know that I've actually seen him play Thrall.
I like your Smile making an aggressive push bottom here right at the beginning of the game, which called 4 members of Flex Luthor to come down and try to respond to that. And the Orc looked like he was fainting down, but he's just going to go back to mid and try to get some soak here. So, exciting start to the beginning of the game. There's a little bit of damage put there on bottom from I Like Your Smile.
Yeah, it was a strong response to the aggressive attack on the tower in the bottom lane, and it was good patience by I Like Your Smile not to over-respawn. They left Leoric and Thrall in lane to get their soak on, and in the end, both teams are pretty much dead even, and nothing really came of that. This solo lane matchup will be big. It'll be interesting to see who wins this. I'm not sure, with equally skilled players, who should win this. I imagine probably Rag, but Thrall's still a solid solo laner.
Yeah, Rag just can clear faster than Thrall. So it puts Thrall on the back end, kind of. But they're about even in terms of who wins and holds the lane. They both have about the same amount of sustain. So
these two guys will go at it in the top. In the meantime, here we have the... it looks like Flex Luthor is rotating between lanes, while I Like Your Smile is staying more stationary with their lane assignments in a 1-1-3. And we have the first shrine of the game. Oh, did you get bounced, dude?
No, I'm here.
Oh,
I might have temporarily. I got some huge lag spikes.
So okay, well, you're back. So first shrine of the game, it will be an Arcane Punisher, generally considered the strongest of the Punishers, and it will be in the bottom lane. I Like Your Smile taking a small advantage, heading in with level 4, although Flex Luthor just picked it up as well. Both teams dead even going in here, and we're going to have our first 5-on-5 of the game. Artanis taking a lot of damage, and it looks like, looking at these health bars, I think I Like Your Smile got the small advantage there, handling that fight a little bit better and forcing Flex Luthor to go tap.
They got a really strong opening, isolating Artanis there, and that does a lot to shut down what's going on the side of Flex Luthor. So I'm not surprised to see that.
Juice.
Great isolation, body blocking by Juice, and absolutely nailing that Artanis to the wall. That was a fantastic thing.
And Juice was actually swapped by Artanis. He just held his position and didn't panic and won the 1v1. So first blood, 2 I Like Your Smile. And they are controlling this early shrine, although aggression from Flex Luthor, not afraid of the 5v4. Ragnaros is in trouble, and he takes a hammer to the face, and he will fall as well. This first shrine will definitely go to I Like Your Smile. Flex Luthor on the back foot here just a little bit in the early going.
What a great opening for them so far with this team. It doesn't seem like they'd be the more aggressive ones, but I feel like they figured out that the only way that they're going to win this is actually to be the aggressors, to stop that Artanis swap before it even happens by getting swapped by him body blocking.
So the Punisher is captured by I Like Your Smile. Artanis has already left the area and is split soaking in the top lane. Thrall has left as well. It looks like he will respond to that top lane, leaving 4-on-4 in the bottom. Rag goes into Molten Core form. This is what I was saying he can do to stunt the advance of the Punisher. He did land a stun on a couple of members, 3 members of I Like Your Smile there, and I Like Your Smile health bar is getting a little bit low. This fort's still pretty healthy, pretty solid defense right now from Flex Luthor.
And they just lost their Punisher. Off he wanders.
Yep, they are maybe going to get this fort here. Chrissy is really low on Vala. But with Flex Luthor not going forward, they're going to be able to get the fort. So a fort out of the first Punisher is a win for sure.
Yeah, they were so preoccupied with keeping damage off of that keep that they couldn't do anything about that fort.
So early advantage to I Like Your Smile, 2 kills to none, with the 1 level advantage and 1 fort down on the side of Flex Luthor. Both teams will kind of regroup for this little kind of lull period between the shrines. Juice going to go ahead and fill up his mana during the little kind of off season here we have between the shrine competitions.
I kind of like this in between time, though, in between shrines. It allows teams to be really creative in how they choose to attack.
Yeah, and what I was going to say is I really like this map for that reason. I think of all the maps, this one maybe offers the most in the way of creative strategic decision makings because of all the different dynamics on the map and how the how the objective works, just how long it takes to get it. It really gives teams a chance to try different things out, accentuate different strategies. There's all kinds of strategies on this particular battleground that can be effective. Gul'dan in trouble. The Wolf from Thrall finishes him off. And third kill of the game for I Like Your Smile. About a half level ahead.
They are in control so far. I mean, they are not. They've shown so far that they are not afraid to pull every single person out of lane if it means that they can get at least one pick. And I think that's actually pretty important going forward into this match. That the Flex Luthor is going to need to make that adjustment and try to watch for those aggressive rotations like that. So I think that can go back to him.
Well, you know, and furthermore, anytime that your opponent is, Juice might be in trouble here, I don't think that swap was necessary. I think they could have just rotated on top of him. Juice caught out too far forward and almost got away, but I didn't think there was any way he was getting out of that. I'm surprised they went as far as he did. I Like Your Smile forced to leave the altar for at least the next 14 seconds. I think they're going to go soak for level 10 and their heroic abilities. In the meantime, Flex Luthor will start the altar and try, or the shrine I should say, and try to burn down 40 of these guys before they can invade with their heroics, but they will not have enough time to do that, I don't think.
They're slowly making their way up. They're now over halfway done now. I'm not sure if they're going to have time either to make a solid engagement, but we're about to see here Rio going all the way in there. Being swapped. Okay, Rain of Vengeance comes out.
Tassadar and Thrall a little bit late, but they are here now, and now we have a full 5-on-5. Artanis is in trouble, gets melted by a Rain of Vengeance. Johanna shortly after. Flex Luthor in trouble here. This is going to be at least 4 men. If I'm Rhaegar, I am just out of here. He stays too long and joins his teammates in the graveyard. A full team wipe for I Like Your Smile. I think once that level 10 was hit, maybe discretion, the better part of valor, and a withdrawal might have been in order there for Flex Luthor.
I wish we could have watched a replay of that. I wish we were HGC right now, because if you notice, Flex Luthor's 1 creep away from getting a Punisher.
They are.
So I'm not exactly sure what the breakdown was. Like, you have York coming in within just an absolutely fantastic attune on both of the tanks, being followed up with the Drain Hope and the Earthquake from Thrall, slowing down all of the members of Flex Luthor
and look,
allowing
Rag just stole.
Yeah, there
Rag
it is.
just stole it.
Perfect.
That was a really nice job of I Like Your Smile to try to create that zone there, but there really wasn't anything they could do about the Molten Core, and we highlighted that early in the game, and there was a perfect example of it right there. Oh, and a blistering Rain of Vengeance catching 3 people, and another hard engagement here. This time, though, the mana bars on I Like Your Smile are very low. They are forced to retreat. Rio might be in trouble. He is Luthor, but Vala gets caught out on the backline. Sulfuris Smash rains down on Leoric. He dies. I Like Your Smile for the first time this game on the full retreat. Excellent recovery from Flex Luthor right there.
That was a really powerful showing for them to try to take this game back.
And just, you know, for team morale a little bit, when you kind of lose the early game, it's really nice to get that first team fight win under your belt. You know, they're structurally, this game is dead even now. They're only about a half a level behind in experience, so they really needed that kind of for the momentum of this game to switch back the other way and make it an even game. Hard engage from Leoric. Juice and Rio catching Gul'dan. There's the Earthquake. There's the Entomb. Gul'dan very low. Slowing basic attacks from Tassadar will almost keep him in, and he is going to get away. And Juice is swapped into the wall, but Artanis might have gone too far. Rain of Vengeance on top of him, and there he goes. That swap was just 1 town too far away. His team wasn't close enough to follow up on it, and I Like Your Smile was able to turn that on Artanis and get the pick.
That was such a fun interaction to watch, and an amazing example of follow-up and turnaround on the side of I Like Your Smile. It's exactly what you want to see from your team, is just everybody responding with everything they have to that split-second advantageous fight.
Yeah, absolutely. Artanis was out of position, but he wasn't like grossly out of position. It wasn't like his team was in the next lane over or anything. It was just that extra 1 or 2 steps was the difference there, and that led to the Artanis pick.
We're all trying to clear up top here. All 4 members of I Like Your Smile go down to take bottom siege camp, and here we have our next shrine.
And we have
going to be right in the middle.
with Flex Luthor invading the top lane to try to get a little bit of pressure here. If
And a
I like your
perfect doom on Gul'dan.
Oh, did I miss it? Oh, Gul'dan gets picked by the rotation, but I like your smile. Now Flex Luthor needs to withdraw, though. You can't take a 4-on-5 engagement like that. It looks like they are. The rest of the members will get out alive. I like your smile. Now we'll turn to focus on the shrine. So Flex Luthor has push in the top lane. I like your smile has push in the bottom lane. It looks like Rag will rotate down to clear the bot, while Thrall will do the same for I like your smile. Once again, I like your smile seems to be taking control of this game while they're waiting for Gul'dan to come back, and I imagine we will see an engagement coming from Flex Luthor as soon as he arrives.
Thrall's going to need to get back down here.
Yeah, Thrall's going to be late for this, so this might be an opportunity for Flex Luthor. You can see how far back I like your smile is. They're aware that they could be in a rough spot. The Ghost Wolf with the resistance on there negated so much of that damage. Now Juice arrives on Thrall, pops the Earthquake, 5-on-5. Leoric finally goes down, but he ate a ton of damage. Crystal Aegis used on herself does damage to take out Ragnaros. Tassadar in trouble. He goes down too. This is a absolute bloodbath.
On both sides of this fight, this is pretty crazy.
Despite the fact that I Like Your Smile lost that 2-1, their 3 members had significantly higher health than the 4 members left on Flex Luthor, and they stayed on the aggressive to drive them out of that shrine there and finish off the Punisher.
Zavala did an excellent job of being as far back as she needed to in order to still pick off shrine creeps from when Flex Luthor started to push into that shrine. So really good on her.
Excellent Entomb and the Drain Hope on Johanna. The Fear, though, will keep Johanna alive as Vala and Leoric ran for their lives. I really liked I Like Your Smile's positioning there as Flex Luthor engaged. They knew Thrall was going to be late. They backed up as far into the shrines as they could to wait for him to arrive. Flex Luthor initiated onto Leoric, and he took Hardened Bones, and he ate so much of that damage in the Ghost form, it really stunted the initiation from Flex Luthor.
Yeah, not only did he take Hardened Bones, he also took Lingering Apparition at 7, which means that not only is he getting resistant, but he's getting resistant for, I think, an extra, 3 seconds or something like that. Like, it is a full 6 seconds of him being in the same place but being completely resistant.
What that means is that's a long time.
It's a strong boon to how Flex Luthor wants to, blow up a target, but they can't blow up Leoric. And
Absolutely not.
Perfectly gave all the room to Tassadar and to Vala to kind of clean up, to get the shrine, to get all the things they needed and everything else to do in that fight. It was just fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely, and it allows Leoric to aggressively anchor his team just like he did in that mid-shrine. He was so far from his team, but he knows with the Hardened Bones and the Lingering Apparition, he's almost never in trouble. I mean, he popped his Ghost Walk there, he had a sandwich while everybody was wailing on him, and came out the other side just fine.
A little bit of cleanup here on both sides of the team.
Yep.
Or both sides of this game, rather.
Flex Luthor really wants to hit 16, and they will before the next shrine, and we will once again have another 5-on-5. The numbers look like they're more heavily in favor to I Like Your Smile than it is. 12 kills to 5, but all the keeps are up. Flex Luthor is definitely in this. One solid team fight here could turn this one real quick.
They need the right pressure in the right place at the right time, and it can totally turn in their favor.
So, I Like Your Smile is rotating down to the next shrine. They will get there first. It looks like they might... Nope, just kidding. They are just going to go straight to the shrine. And now there's a mini bush party. Tassadar this time will do the anchoring, while Rio and Juice and Vala just start burning down those Shrine Guardians. And here comes Flex Luthor. They're looking for the swap. You can see where Artanis is in relation to his team. There's really nothing there. There's that really forward position we were talking about with Rio. He can go so deep knowing he can soak up a ton of damage. Great double swap from Artanis. Once again, the Rain of Vengeance does work. So many health bars. This fight is all over the place and really well played by both sides, but unfortunately Flex Luthor, first 2 to fall. the double support there, I think, was the difference. Now 3 members of Flex Luthor there. Once that battle really started dragging out, the double support won the day, I think, there for I Like Your Smile.
Absolutely insane. I mean, I don't blame Flex Luthor, but they are spending a large amount of this game trying to get to the Vala, overextending while they kind of let that Thrall run in the back line of their team right up against Gillian. And every single time she gets turned around on, she now has, extra attack speed from the Will of Heaven from Oreo, and she's just a monster right now in the game. And that double support, you're right, absolutely kept them up throughout that entire fight and turned that around for them.
Not only that, but it looks like, let me see if I can find it here, how far Tassadar, he is almost done with the 100% shield quest. So when he gets that, you can already see the pre-shields at half. This team is going to get even more difficult to kill. And just with how this team is structured, with Leoric anchoring so far ahead, we didn't even mention it there, but I Like Your Smile left that Punisher at 39 and went and did other things. But with how tanky Leoric is, especially up 2 levels, there goes the Entomb onto Rag. He is certainly going to be toast. I'm not quite sure how Flex Luthor has to change their engagements. They just can't get past the Leoric with all the shields and the resistance and the level difference. They're really in a tough spot here. And Vala, props to Chrissy on Vala, has, other than that one right there, been on point with her Rain of Vengeance. They've been getting max value out of that heroic. There it is again, right on Johanna. This could be game if I Like Your Smile can get a more... I mean, look at... He's up here 1v4ing him, and they can't get him down between the shields and the hardened bones and the aerial heals. Barring something bizarre, I think this will be game. A very commanding performance by I Like Your Smile. They knew exactly what they wanted to run, how they wanted to run it, and other than a little bit of a hiccup mid-game, absolutely controlled Game 1 in our best of 3 series.
That was a fantastic Game 1. I think when we were in draft, it kind of seemed like maybe Flex Luthor was going to run away with this game in terms of the shrines. But oh my goodness, double support Vala is insane. If we take a look at these damage numbers here at the end of the game, she's top in hero damage. She has the most kills in the game, and she is second only to Ragnaros for siege damage in this game, which is just, I mean, it's absolutely insane. She beat out Gul'dan in siege damage. Almost 30,000 damage. Absolutely insane.
I Like Your Smile knew exactly how they wanted to run that comp. Leoric was always in such an aggressive position, and with his slows and shields and hardened bones, they just could not get to him. They couldn't get to the back line and really controlled that game, other than a brief hiccup, really the whole way through. So we're going to try to find out where we want where Flex Luthor wants Game 2 to be. This is really nice as a caster. I don't have to deal with draft links anymore, or observer links, or whatever. It just goes, which is awesome. The in-game draft is really good. It makes this much easier to do.
That's got to be such a nice ease of the burden of execution.
Yes,
of being a caster.
For sure. So it looks like Flex Luthor probably having a little post-game chat and comms, maybe a little bit of a breakdown of their last game, talking about some between Game 1 and Game 2 adjustments, and also deciding where they want this battleground to be. Kind of in the draft, in the moment, it looks like both drafts were pretty equal, but how they ran those, especially once they fell behind like that, I don't really know what kind of an adjustment Flex Luthor could have made once that game started to unfold. They just couldn't get to anybody other than Leoric almost. He was so far forward. He was so loud, had so much attention on him. And with the slows and the Drain Hope, he just kind of controlled the space in the front of the battlefield. That's what we said would be the difference in the beginning of the game. Which front line will control it better? Leoric did it like single-handedly almost, just by the structure of his build and the fact that he had a double support comp.
Yeah, when Leoric gets up in level like that, and he has Hardened Bones, and he has, 2 tanks to sustain off of, he becomes one of the best tanks for holding the front line. And that's part of the problem in terms of what Flex Luthor's adjustments had to be were impossible to make because they don't have damage in their front line between Johanna and Artanis. And
they didn't have They didn't have dive to get back there.
And Ragnaros went his E build. He went his last wave build, which I actually really enjoy playing that build if I'm going against a team with melee, with a lot of dive, which was not happening on the side of I Like Your Smile. It's exactly the opposite, actually. So it's interesting to see why, or it's interesting to why he went with that build. But they were missing damage from Q. From Ragnaros' Q build. They were missing a lot of damage there. So they couldn't make that adjustment. They couldn't just bring out more damage out of nowhere, especially when they're down on levels like that.
So it'll be interesting to see. Best of threes are always fun because you get to see in-game adjustments, maybe a respect ban if somebody really crushed you there. But I Like Your Smile first ban Sylve on Battlefield of Eternity. Flex Luthor responds with the Artanis ban. And now, I Like Your Smile will get first pick on Battlefield of Eternity, and they stick with that Vala. It worked out so well here. I almost wonder if we're going to see a Tassadar pickup almost just as a denial.
Just to take it away. I wouldn't be surprised.
But then does I Like Your Smile come back with Zarya because she can accomplish similar things? You have to wonder if they have that in their toolkit. And this is what's fun about multiple game series is the in-game adjustments. You've had your chance to kind of feel out the other team and maybe make those different picks that you wouldn't have otherwise. It's a lot of fun. I hope we get to play a couple of those best of threes in our games this season because it's just kind of fun, the games within the games, if you will.
Yeah, I am glad to see the Artanis ban from Flex Luthor just because I think that he is a powerful hero right now. His ability to swap the damage or to swap somebody into a lot of damage is really powerful. I'm surprised they didn't ban Vala. She's just as strong on this map, and they just got wrecked by her. However,
they took the TAS and the Rhaegar to keep the Bloodlust away from her.
Right. One of the biggest tools that they had at their disposal last game was that Tassadar, which is now on the side of Flex Luthor. So they have a few choices here on the side of I Like Your Smile. Oreo Vala isn't bad at all.
Nope.
And then followed up by, for example, like Kerosene, an Assassin Kerosene, for not only that extra bit of burst healing, but a lot of damage that can come out from him, especially if, we already know that Flex Luthor likes to run a double bruiser comp, double tank. So if that comes around, Seven-Sided Strike is a fantastic tool to deal with that as well.
And if they want to stick with the shields and the healers, they can certainly go Zarya Ariel again, and it would be very similar to what they ran last game. And Sonya ETC, I would be surprised if Juice wasn't on Sonya. I know that's one of his bays. So going for a stronger front line, more DPS out of the front line with Sonya, and of course ETC, excellent at controlling, peeling, initiating, all of the above. Really has anything a primary tank could want in his toolbox. Flex Luthor bans Mouth. An excellent ban. He goes so good with ETC. He's the best overall healer in the game right now. Does all kinds of different things well. And I Like Your Smile on the clock for their mid-draft ban.
I really love the ETC Sonya pickup for I Like Your Smile. That is such an aggressive front line. And when it gets to the mid and late game with Leap. I mean, or even Wrath of the Berserker, she can power through those shields.
Oh, for sure.
From Tassadar. I mean, it's going to be a fantastic amount of burst damage that comes out at least as well from the Vala. You power slide into Ancient Spear, into all the burst from Vala will take down a lot of people. And it's hard to get away from even the body blocks and the spin to win and everything like that. Tychus spam, that's not bad at all. Tychus is actually really, really good against Sonya because she has a high enough health pool where Minigun gets a lot of value, but she can't actually heal through the value that Minigun, all that damage that Minigun does to her. So that's a fantastic ban.
You know, ETC Vala Sonya, between the Power Slide and the Rain of Vengeance and the Leap, can pretty much single-handedly lock down and blow up almost any hero in the game if it's coordinated properly.
Oh, yeah.
So, and both in this, on Battlefield, both Vala and Sonya could act as the primary damage dealer on the Immortal while the rest of the team zones or defends if they want to. You'll see that a lot, where they send, for example, they'll send Vala to attack the Immortal while everyone else attacks. And now we get to see a Zul'jin paired with Tassadar, Rhaegar, Bloodlust. Zul'jin can do a ton of damage, and on a map where wave clear maybe not quite as prioritized, might be his chance to shine here. Single target damage on the Immortal. There's the Kharazim that you were talking about, plus Tyrande, I would assume, for Starfall and the lockdown with the ETC, and they insta-lock those, no hesitation, so those are definitely the guys they wanted. Now we have...
I'm sorry, I like your smile is going to win this game. I'm calling it right now. Kharazim, I can bet you anything he's going to take Iron Fists at 1, and that Lunar Flare from Tyrande is insane on Battlefield of Eternity. There's lots of choke points. There's lots of places to be body blocked by an ETC with a follow-up from a Lunar Flare.
Hunter's Mark on the Immortal?
I mean, Hunter's Mark on whoever gets Lunar Flare in the first place. I mean, Hunter's Mark on anybody. I mean, this is insane. They need to take a frontliner, somebody with beef, somebody who can take a lot of damage to get that Zul'jin value so that he can wreck people who try to dive him.
Yeah, I agree with that. With both sides... Oh, that's an interesting pick. He definitely does a lot of damage. The problem, I think, that both Nazeebo and Zul'jin are going to have a little bit is they're not particularly mobile heroes. And the opposite is true for I Like Your Smile. Flex Luthor asking if they can swap teams really quick. Get out, get out.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. I would be asking.
Yeah, so the mobility advantage is definitely on I Like Your Smile. ETC is a mobile hero. Vala is a mobile hero. Sonya is a mobile hero. Kharazim is a mobile hero. The only one who's not a mobile hero is, of course, Tyrande. And on the other side, Tassadar and Muradin are the only ones. Rhaegar has some mobility, but Nazeebo and Zul'jin, their two primary damage dealers, do not have very good built-in escape mechanics, so their positioning is really going to be huge for them staying alive.
I wouldn't be surprised if we see Thing from the Deep picked up at 1 by Nazeebo so that he can have extended range on his spells. Yeah, there it is. There's that Iron Fists coming out for Kharazim at 1. That damage Kharazim is a nightmare to have to deal with if you are a squishy assassin, kind of like Zul'jin or kind of like Nazeebo early in the game. Q build coming out from Vala. Not surprising at all. Her Q build gets insane amount of value
on this map in particular. Yep.
I just think it's a really good bit of damage at all, and it's going to help deal with a lot of those squishies who come up from Flex Luthor. If she goes for the Q quest as well at 7, that she's going to be able to get that so easily when a Muradin, walks into the team.
And the other thing we didn't really talk about though is only 1 interrupt for Mosh Pit, only 1 interrupt for Sonya's Spin to Win, only 1 interrupt for Kharazim's Punching Fit, and that's all Muradin. He's the only one that can interrupt all of those. Nazeebo gets picked off in a bush party rotating top. Already, I like your smile, making a statement. First blood about 39 seconds into the game. And now we have a hard rotation from ETC and Tehran. There's the power slide. There's the Lunar Flare follow-up. There's the Hunter's Mark. And there is Zul'Jin's body.
I told you, man, that Lunar Flare, it's going to come back to... I mean, the reason why I said that Flex Luthor needed a heavy frontliner so badly is just because of the ridiculous amount of burst that they have on the side of I Like Your Smile. I mean, it's just insane. They've got lockdown, they've got burst, they've got utility, and they have everything that they need to just run away with this game. I mean,
and
there's...
Muradin might get picked off here.
Muradin picked right here. Muradin almost got picked right there, a minute and 20 seconds into this game. That's insane.
And the other thing with Muradin as a solo frontline with all of the mobility and lockdown we talked about is Muradin is a really good tank, but he doesn't have exceptional peels by any stretch of the imagination. It's not like he can be ETC and face melt 3 people away. Double power slide, Lunar Flare, dead Zul'Jin. Once again, I Like Your Smile in control in the early game. Juice is rotating down. I assume they will just... Will he catch Nazeebo? Nibble Rabbit on Nazeebo in a lot of trouble. Juice not quite able to get him, but now Juice a little far forward. Muradin rotates onto him, but no stun. Juice spins away. And already Vala melted, while we were watching Juice, melted that first half of the Immortal. And she's going to do it again. Flex Luthor, I bet you feels like they're forced into defending here. They already lost it so hard. Vala not participating in the team fight, almost at... Oh, now there she goes. She was on the Immortal for so long. ETC does finally fall. Flex Luthor able to right the ship here just a little bit, but with death timers so low and that Immortal so low, this is really just going to be a nice Q through the wall onto the Mercs by Juice to get himself out of trouble. This is really only delaying the inevitable. They did send Zul'Jin to take on the Immortal by himself, while all of the 4 other members here are attempting to stall. But now level 4 for I Like Your Smile, level 3 for Flex Luthor, and here comes the invade. They are not forced. They are focusing the Immortal, not on the team fight. There's the Hunter's Mark. There goes the Immortal, and there goes Muradin.
Ooh, a great Ancient Spear right there. Able to take down the Nazeebo, getting that extra slow on there as well. Fantastic.
Rio just kind of sending a message with the power slide here. If something doesn't change fast, this thing is going to get out of hand. I Like Your Smile really in complete control in the early going.
Sonya heading down the bottom to try to get that double soak. Tassadar to meet her down there. I don't know why they sent Tassadar to meet her. Maybe they needed the clear from Nazeebo, but
or the poke damage from Nazeebo.
Yeah, it's so hard to leave Zul'Jin by himself without somebody to help him out.
Yeah. I mean,
excellent defense. Power slide into the Immortal stun. He's going to make it out, though, just fine.
The first Immortal of the game, which are usually pretty weak, and it's barely at half health when they take out the fort. They're level 6 to 4. Rio going full ham, trying to isolate somebody out. The members of Flex Luthor able to get away, but 1 fort down, level 7 to level 5. Flex Luthor definitely on the defensive here in game 2.
Again, I know I said this in the draft. I'm really surprised Flex Luthor did not ban the Vala. I understand the Artanis ban, but again, we're only 4 minutes into this game.
And this might be her best map, her best battlefield.
Exactly. And I think that's why I say that, because, but yet again, Vala is leading in everything so far, except for XP.
I Like Your Smile is going to collapse on this Merc camp. Flex Luthor needs to get out. They are in trouble. 3 members isolated. The Ancient Spear onto Zul'Jin. He is in trouble. He might get away barely, and by the skin of their teeth, the members of Flex Luthor escaped the trap and managed to capture the Merc camp, so I think that went about as well for them as they could have expected there.
So far, so good. All they really need to do is nothing in this game so far. They really just need not die, for the most part. An excellent 5-man push. You know what? I love this decision right now. I absolutely love this decision to push into 5-man because they're saying to Flex Luthor, we can afford this right now. Not only can we afford this, we actually want to be on the advantage on the push down here to try to get extra pressure on the second fort, the only other fort that exists on the other side of the game.
Well, not only
so
that,
I love that.
They're clearly their objective was the front wall, because that means they have nothing to hide behind if they win this Immortal. So that was very forward thinking. They were thinking of when we win the second Immortal, we don't want there to be a front wall.
And immediately, everybody's jumping on our Immortal here from I Like Your Smile. Muradin's going to go way deep in there but get pushed off.
ETC is taking a lot of damage.
Yeah.
Nice power slide in there. That might have been too aggressive, and it was. The Rhaegar Wolf Butt Bite was able to confirm the kill on ETC, and a small victory for for Flex Luthor, although they did lose the first half of the Immortal race. Are they going to jump? No. Unfortunately, Nazeebo has to hearth back. They are trying to do as much damage as they can, but a full strength I Like Your Smile team will be here momentarily. Vala goes straight to the Immortal. Zul'jin cannot win a race with Vala. Juice is able to confirm the kill on Tassadar and then immediately jumps onto the Immortal. This will certainly go to I Like Your Smile. Nazeebo can't participate because he has to go clear that top lane. A very strong Immortal will once again push the bottom lane. Well, I Like Your Smile. Looks like they're trying to catch somebody in rotation. They have picked up level 10. Their heroics will be selected. Starfall on Tyrande, the only one selected thus far. And there we have, is that Sage Knight or is that Mosh Pit? Mosh Pit on
That's Mosh Pit.
Mosh Pit on ETC, as you would expect, with only one interrupt on the other side. Strafe for Vala. Palm, Divine Palm on Karazim, and I think that's Wrath or Elite on Sonya.
No, that's Wrath.
Wrath of the Berserker on Sonya.
I like to see the strafe come out from Vala. We just saw her use Rain of Vengeance to really good effectiveness in the last game. But in this game, she wants to poke, and she wants to be mobile while she's poking, and she wants to be able to get out of situations and do DPS while she's running away. There's a lot of squishies on the side of Flex Luthor, so that strafe is really good for poking a lot of them.
And that was a really excellent zoning Starfall by Amon on Tyrande. Completely forced Flex Luthor back from the defense, and they still don't have their level 10 yet, although the poison might get juiced, but the Divine Palm is a little bit early, and the poison from Nazeebo confirms the kill on Juice. Supreme Force was just a tiny bit early on the Divine Palm, and unfortunately Juice falls victim, but one keep down for Flex Luthor, and they traded Sonya for that keep. The heroics, we have Bloodlust on Rhaegar. Muradin has not picked yet. Archon on Tassadar. Tazdingo on Zul'jin. And on Nazeebo, we have Gargantuan. Tassadar cat out and exploded. There's the one-man mosh pit to completely isolate out Zul'jin. He does use Tazdingo. It will not batter. He is going down. Two members of Flex Luthor caught out. Aggressive play by I Like Your Smile. And Juice is on the hunt. Wolf is on the menu. Otterbot trying to get away. This is going to be quite a chase. The chase is real, but I think I Like Your Smile is going to catch him in the end. Nice Ancient Spear by Juice, catching Otterbot. And there he goes. Not much Penguin on Muradin can do about it other than watch from a safe distance. Although Karazim down here, they might be able to catch him, and here they come. If Muradin can land a Q, no, he will get away. And a talent tier advantage for I Like Your Smile on the third Immortal of the game. They are posturing to invade the enemy's Merc camp. All 5 members coming. I don't think Flex Luthor realizes it. They will now, and they should wisely pull out. Nazeebo too far forward. He does get caught up by the power slide. And now we have a full engagement here. Sonya in the back line, but Vala is the first one to go down, and Juice on Sonya will surely follow. I obviously don't know what I'm talking about. I told Flex Luthor to get out of there, and instead, they win their first decisive team battle of the game, killing Sonya and Vala, and now posturing to win the first half of this third Immortal.
Yeah, they fell victim to the Hodor style of play, which was do your engagements really split and really poorly.
Absolutely.
Sonya tried to follow up on everything that was going well with the ETC. Unfortunately, they weren't able to get any value off of ETC's trait. They weren't able to get any value off of all that CC they were doing because they got split really hard. And Muradin was able to get in the back lane and focus down that ball.
Although I Like Your Smile did not lose halftime by much. Nazeebo was going to go clear, but now he has to be here, and now it is a fight. These Immortals are virtually dead even in health. And in the meantime, look at this. I Like Your Smile. They're going to clear bottom and wait. They know they have push on keep, and they can patiently wait for somebody from Flex Luthor to show in the top lane, and then they will aggressively engage, I'm sure.
The smart choice to leave Zul'jin on the other Immortal, though. If he waits too long, they're just going to have to be burnt down. But really, really good going in on Rhaegar there. Not going to make anything of it, unfortunately. Excellent zombie wall onto Sonya. She's going to try to spin. She's going to get Divine Palm, and it's not going to go off. She's going to have a stun there. Trying to race this Immortal, and I think it's going to go over to I Like Your Smile. Bloodlust gets popped, and Kharazim gets caught out as well. I believe.
Oh,
the
Death Mosh
the
Pit.
3-man mosh is not going to save him this time.
Juice barely got away there. He had 71 hit points, and there he goes aggressively. 1 on 2, 3 with Vala and Tyrande. They were hoping to get a pick, but now they will retreat. Despite all of that, despite I Like Your Smile's quotey fingers defeat, they won the Immortal.
Yeah, absolutely. That was a classic case of overcommitting to defense. They could have even set somebody like Rhaegar back with the Zul'jin to get more DPS out on the Immortal, to really have a race. But they didn't want to go that route. They wanted to go the more defensive route, get some kills. But that netted I Like Your Smile, this Immortal, and the second keep of this game.
And look at this, no fear from I Like Your Smile. A 3-man offense into 5 defenders. Kharazim just arriving, ETC still not here. Now they have withdrawn. Both of Flex Luthor's keeps are down. And I Like Your Smile really in complete control of this game. It's really their game to lose at this point.
They've even got lanes all the way pushed out. I mean, this is going to be a hard fight for Flex Luthor. They have to get team wipe after team wipe after team wipe in order to get control of the map, get control of these structures, get control of this game. I feel like I Like Your Smile is going to try to rush to 16 as they possibly can. We're seeing a huge invasion from Flex Luthor.
They want to force the fight before 16.
A lot of dancing around, not committing, and all they're going to say it's not worth it and back out.
That's probably a good decision.
Considering the state of their lanes, absolutely. They need to do a lot of maintenance right now.
You look at the kills in this game, 10-7, it really doesn't seem that one lopsided, but then you look at the map and the fact that Flex Luthor has not won any of the 3 Immortals, and you can see why the map is entirely red, and I Like Your Smile has all of their forts and keeps, while Flex Luthor has none. It looks like they are posturing for a party bush, when Flex Luthor comes down to clear it up, or now a party bush around the Merc camp. Sonya acting as bait down here. Will they catch Nazeebo? It is going to be close. Juice is all over him. A nice heal from Rhaegar and a cleanse and the power slide, and they do finally confirm the kill on Nazeebo, but Supreme Force on Kharazim is very low. Now it's a 5-on-4. Juice is pretty low too, but I think the longer this goes on, the longer it's going to be in favor of I Like Your Smile. 5-on-4, and now Flex Luthor finally forced back. I Like Your Smile will surely go grab the... Oh, I lied. They will surely not. They are going to get this Merc camp. Juice will solo it, keeping the pressure on Flex Luthor. Kharazim making sure his buddy doesn't get in any trouble. ETC hanging around for some heals as well. Leaving Vala by herself on the Immortal, which is just fine. and Flex Luthor has their back to the walls. They can't contest the Immortal. They can't leave the lanes to push their keeps, which means both of those are win conditions. They're really in a tough spot.
I don't know if you heard it, but Tazdingo was popped up top lane, clearing up. I'm
Oh,
assuming
three-man mosh pit! And this will surely end the game with a decisive team battle here. Rhaegar does pop Bloodlust. Muradin in the middle of everybody. I'm surprised that wasn't worse. Penguin on Muradin does finally fall, but with a three-man mosh, I'm surprised that wasn't even worse. Nazeebo with a aggressive hearthing position there does manage to teleport home safely.
that Rhaegar got out by just
barely.
hail. I mean, that was ridiculous. He probably had 10 health left.
All right, now.
Last Immortal being picked up by I Like Your Smile, full strength, full shields. I mean, this is going to be game right here, right?
Yeah, this is going to be the Alamo here for Flex Luthor. They need to pull out a heroic defense, pull out all the stops. We're going to need 5, oh my goodness, plays, one from each player in order to keep this game going, because I Like Your Smile in complete control. And they're in so much control with so many things. They could actually die on keep here and still be in a good spot.
Oh yeah, they could go. Their whole entire team could go down and they would still not.
And look, Rio's rocking it out down here, just patiently waiting for the Immortal to get on core. And here comes the engagement. I Like Your Smile going for the 2-0 series win. Rio is not even engaging. He is just having his own one-man rock band on the side. There, he finally goes in. Vala does fall, as does Zul Jin. Blue team's core down to 60%, now 45%. Rio continuing his rock party, and this will be game 2. Dominant performance by I Like Your Smile, and you could tell by the comments in the chat post-game from Flex Luthor, they thought they were in trouble after that draft too.
Yeah, I'm glad I called it because I was right, as I usually am. I don't think that was anybody's surprise. I think the only thing surprising about that game is the fact that Sonya ended up top damage dealer on the side of I Like Your Smile. Although she was getting uber aggressive back there. So yeah, that was just such a commanding performance from I Like Your Smile. They had everything that they needed in both of those drafts to absolutely crush anything that came up on for Flex Luthor.
You know,
I'm still trying to wrap my head around the Nazeebo pick. I'm not exactly sure where that came from.
You know, I think at that point in the draft, they were kind of like, well, we need more damage. But yeah, but we need more beef too. And it's kind of like,
right.
Well, what's the pick? They really, I don't know if there really was a great pick. No matter what they selected, I think their comp was going to be at a disadvantage and they were going to be lacking something.
Yeah, I'm not sure if a frontline would have been any different, because then they would have been lacking a lot of damage. But at the same time,
because I mean, Nazeebo was far and away top damage on Flex Luthor. I mean, by 30,000. So I mean, without that damage,
I mean, in the game, he was almost by almost 20,000
right.
in the entire game. So that's pretty crazy as well.
And he was actually split off in lane a lot of the time clearing. So imagine if he would have been in all those team fights for the full duration, it would have been even higher. So
right, exactly.
I mean, I've been around Share League since season 1. I've casted plenty of games. I've played Division 1, 2, and 3, as well as casted all of the divisions. I would not be surprised if I Like Your Smile ends up in the upper tiers of the Pro Division. There are some really good teams at the top of the Chair League Pro Division, but don't be surprised if you see I Like Your Smile up there. And that's a really tough first Pro Division game for Flex Luthor to draw. I mean, if you want to find out where you're at, this was a really good team to do it at, because they're really solid and a kind of a tough draw for Flex Luthor. They had their moments in the game, but I don't think there was really a point in either one of those games where it felt like the game wasn't in I Like Your Smile's control.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, just from the get-go of both of these, matches actually. I Like Your Smile was really in command of what was going on. I mean, I feel like, as the draft went as it did, the other adjustment that I feel like Flex Luthor could have made is actually taking that back to their face and maybe being a little bit more aggressive on their side. But I mean, you have a powerhouse in Vala. You've got a really strong melee assassin in Sonya these days, and an even just as strong of an assassin in Karazine, who didn't even put out that much damage in this game in particular. But still, that's just because he didn't. The game only lasted 15 minutes or so.
Yeah, and I had a thought and it left me. I totally forgot what I was going to say. Well.
I do think one of the things that I really liked about this game was Rio on ETC. He went 0-3, which isn't the most impressive thing in the world, but I want every single ETC from gold down to watch that single man mosh on the Zul'jin, because I feel like that was a great mosh.
Yeah.
It was one person. It didn't even kill him immediately, directly right there, but it was still a fantastic mosh because of the way that it followed up on an engagement happened, just seconds before, and it also did ultimately secure them that kill. It may not have killed them right then and there in the mosh pit, but it definitely killed Zul'jin afterwards. So
Yeah.
it's such an important thing. You and I rage about this all the time.
Yeah.
That, one man mosh pits are not a bad thing.
No,
if
I mean,
you can make it worth it, it can turn, it can get a game back in your control or keep a game in your control in this case.
Well, especially late. You and I both know I play a ton of ETC, and I think the more experienced, better ETC players understand, because you see it at the lower leagues. I want to land that like big 5-man mosh and wipe everybody. Well, of course you do. Everybody wants to land that, but you don't see them very much because they're not easy to land. And if you can secure one kill 19 minutes into a game right before an objective pops with a mosh pit, that is so huge. And generally speaking, of course, there are exceptions to every rule, especially in a game as dynamic as this one. But generally speaking, if you can trade an ultimate for a kill, you take it.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of my MO in terms of even as, it's probably not the best habit, but even as soon as I hit 10, if I can use my ulti to get a pick, I'm usually taking it, because not too long after that is probably going to be an objective, and if we can go into an objective up a person, that bodes well for our ability to complete that objective and move forward and win the video game. So I just really liked the play that I saw from him. It was a little aggressive at times. It got him into bad positioning in a couple spots, but obviously nothing that was at to the detriment of his team.
And it's smart players, which, I mean, obviously all of these guys are. The level that they're playing at is high amateur level, so all these guys are good players. There's no doubt about that. And, good players will make the adjustment. You know what? I'm on ETC. I'm up 2 levels. I can be a little more balls to the wall and maybe put myself in positions that I wouldn't otherwise because I'm up 2 levels, and I know that. I remember what I was going to say. For Flex Luthor, I think the kind of crux of how the series went was right in the middle of Game 2. And in the middle of that Game 2, I believe it was the second, could have been the third Immortal, they won back-to-back team fights. And they still lost the Immortal. They weren't able to capitalize on their opportunities. It's like, well, we lost the Immortal anyway. And I think that kind of encapsulated it. It's like even when things went well for them, they were never quite able to take that momentum back from I Like Your Smile.
Yeah, and they did what a lot of teams do, when they get tunnel vision on a certain thing. They feel like it's in their best interest to accomplish one thing, when maybe they need to be splitting their priorities. Maybe they need to actually be reapproaching how that one thing is done. In this case, it was trying to defend an Immortal while Vala is poking it down. Full Q build Vala.
She burns that thing down fast.
On that Immortal, I mean,
with Hunter's Mark.
Yeah, I mean, it's an insane amount of damage, Immortal damage, rather. And if you come up on a Vala, like, just absolutely outrageously in control like that, it needs to kind of be your first priority and not doing that weird dance thing where, oh, let's see if we can get a pick, let's see if we can get this ETC to overextend, that kind of thing. Let's just leave Zulgin back there. So I don't know what they could have done to get to that Vala necessarily. They don't have a lot of dive. They only have a limited amount of sustain for a Muradin were he to dive in. So I mean, it's just they kind of put themselves in a hard spot there, I think, with this draft as well.
Yeah, and I think I like your Smiles experience showed through a little bit more, and in hindsight, they clearly won both drafts. And winning the draft doesn't guarantee you winning the game by any stretch, but it just makes winning the game easier. So I think when you have a team that their synergy is a little bit better and they have a stronger comp, that's such a strong hill to climb for Flex Luthor.
Good game, though. I think both of these games are really good to watch.
Yeah, for sure. I really like watching these guys. A higher level play gives us Division II scrub something to aspire to. So good games, everybody. Appreciate you for tuning into the cast. Players, when you watch this, feedback always welcome, so certainly reach out to me with any feedback on the cast or style or things you'd like to see. I love hearing that stuff. Good night, everybody, and we will be back next week for the Bronze Age on Monday and some Chair League action at some point as well. Have a good night.
Take care, everyone.